Ahoy hoy! Welcome to day 12 of 30 videos in 30 days. I honestly can't tell you how just excited I am to do this today. This has been really nice and very pleasant and very fruitful from an energy perspective. And there's a lot that I really want to share, but I'm going to try and keep things relatively on track today. Just because, you know what, there's a lot of enthusiasm to keep going for a long time. I think the most important thing to press on today is, so yes, there has been death as of late. That blows. Yes, there have been lessons learned. Most specifically, the lesson that he accepted everything and that people are remarkably glad to be one of the strays. There's something that presses a little bit harder, though, and that is the keen awareness of the unfortunate fact that, and I realize this may come as a shock to you, we are mortals. I mean, should be kind of a no-brainer. According to the old joke, the Surgeon General has determined that life is like 100% fatal. And even if it's not, the percentages aren't in your favor. But, ultimately, and I hate to say it, you're gonna die. I wish there was an alternative. But the nice thing is, until you do, you're actually pretty remarkably alive. Even if you're not in the most ideal circumstance, or the perfect place, or where you want to be. But the thing is, as long as there is breath, there's hope. Which is one of the reasons I'm doing this 30 videos in 30 days thing. It's one of the reasons I walked away from a well-paying job to take a big chance on hoping to make other people's lives better. And it's invigorating when you're able to step back and realize how much we perceive of life and how much we believe of life isn't necessarily what life is about. So much of what we do because we just assume that's what we're supposed to do. 9-to-5 jobs, basic respect, following speed limits. Okay, some of us don't follow them as well as others. But you get the idea. We adhere ourselves to the social construct and the social contract that, a lot of the get up, work, spend your leisure time, be social at Christmas, go to church on Easter, make bizarre peep sculptures around that time. But ultimately, most of these things you have a choice of. I mean, granted, there's going to be circumstances. If you don't work, if you don't make money, your livelihood may be challenged, but for a lot of people, that's the right idea. For a lot of people, going off the grid and living simply is the way to go. And they'll still live that rich life. Other folks feel it necessary to chase success, to chase money, to chase whatever, and that's more than fine. Whatever you want to do, knock yourself out. Ultimately, it's your choice. But the one thing that I really, really, really want to press upon is now is the best time to make a change. If there's something that you're not as keen on, or if there's something that you would like to make adjustments to, now is the time to make that change, because the only person you are cheating by not being your most perfect awesome is you. Granted, you're also cheating everyone else who will miss out on your awesome, but they're not going to realize they're missing out because, you know what, you're not really showing your awesome. You need to own your awesome. You need to take that inner fire, whatever it is that stokes that fire, and learn to direct it. Learn to find the things that genuinely do energize you and recharge you and help you feel like a better overall person. Eventually I'll stop all these nervous little gestures, but I do think this is a lot more coherent than we normally are, so we're just going to roll with this. So, ultimately, be you. Be the biggest, best, boldest, loudest, most obnoxious possible you that you can be, within respectful boundaries, of course. You know, my bold and body only goes so far as basically the tip of your nose. After that, I can be annoying. Thankfully, I am talented enough I can be annoying from a distance, as a lot of people will certainly testify. I'm learning to be bold again myself. I'm learning to step away from the expectations. I'm learning to push through the fear. I'm learning to take the chances and see what's on the other side of wherever the hell it is I am now. And I think now the world is in a perfect position for everybody to do that. The world is in an excellent position for you to step back and say, you know what? This job kind of sucks. There's bound to be things I'm more passionate about. There's one good friend of mine who, amazingly enough, started doing photography and was able to quit his job, and he's a remarkably successful photographer right now. I've got another friend of mine who went on to become a prop creator and small farmer doing farmers markets now. And they're happy. They're so happy, and there's so much fucking misery right now that people reaching out and doing their happy thing, it should be appreciated and celebrated and really taken for the example that it is and made into something bigger and greater and much more awesome. Fact of the matter is, life sucks. It has its high points, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't necessarily work out well. Working in customer service, really, honestly, any service-oriented job is kind of a bitch. People tend to dismiss you, and that kind of blows. People get far too invested in politics. People get far too invested in legalism, or on the opposite spectrum of basically just embracing chaos for the sake of chaos. I'm a big proponent of balance myself, what I really kind of strive for, but I understand the fact that it's not necessarily always going to be that way. But you can make a difference in your own life by really looking at yourself and looking at the things that make you you, looking at the things that give you passion, looking at the things that fill your tank. And I'm not necessarily saying quit your job. That would be foolish. I don't know your position. I don't know your finances. But there's ways that you can integrate these things into your life more. There's ways that you can absolutely put these things to work for a better life for you. And every person who does just a little bit more to make themselves a little bit happier in this ever so brief flash of life you have left, even if it's 100 years that you live, that's still only 100 years. I mean, I wouldn't say that I've lived a life of regret, but I certainly wish there's some changes I might have made at different points. And I absolutely wish that I had walked away from fear more often than not, because time is going to pass no matter if you're afraid of it or not. You are going to get to the end of your time whether you want to or not. You will run out of time whether you want to or not. do everything you can to make the time that you have good time. And the more of a good time that you have, the more the people around you will have a good time, and the more they will be supported by you, recognizing how happy they are at your happiness and their happiness. And it's the best shit on earth. I absolutely fucking love happy, passionate people. I want you to be a happy, passionate person. I could go on and just rant and, well, not rant so much. I could just rage and revel at how awesome this is. But I also understand that it's important to let you get back to your day. I mean, you've got being awesome to do. So I'll let go for now. But you'll absolutely see me tomorrow. And thank you for taking the time today.